and welcome to our next video blog. One of those frustrating assumptions people make about Christians is that Christians are nice people. Have you ever thought about that? Christians, of course they're nice people, right? You might be thinking. But when it usually comes across from people, it comes across as the opposite more often. Boy, that wasn't a very nice thing to do, so therefore they must not be a Christian. But since when was niceness a Christian virtue? Nice, in reality, it means not ruffling anyone else's feathers. It means giving them the things they want. In fact, if you look it up, it technically means being pleasant and agreeable. Being nice is all about social norms. And those who act against what everyone expects are not considered nice. There's a bumper sticker going around these days that says, "Nice girls seldom make history." And while it's a good thought, it speaks to what we're talking about. Nice as conforming to the social norms. Even in the church, we reward niceness, and we punish its opposite. What's the opposite of being nice? But see, niceness isn't at all about God. Niceness is only about society's expectations for us. In fact, look at the Bible. Do you know how many times Jesus calls us to be nice? 0. Do you know how many times in the entire New Testament it calls us to be nice? 0. Do you know how many times in the entire Bible it calls us to be nice? You guessed it. 0. In fact, the word nice isn't even in the Bible. So, what is the Bible's call to us if it isn't to be nice? What is the godly equivalent to submitting to society's norms? Well, rather than being nice, the Bible calls us to be kind. And while these are often treated as synonyms in our culture, they most definitely are not. I have a collection of Norman Rockwell plates that we have hung around our house. And I never quite understood why I really like these kind of plates. What is it about Norman Rockwell's plates that I love? I came to realize that the series that I've collected, the series that came to me from my parents, is all about older men teaching younger children things like this. And what I've come to realize is that what I love is that this is a collection of photos of kindness. This is older people being kind to younger generations. Kindness, I think, is the key, or one of the keys at least, to the Christian life. See, while niceness is a reflection and imitation of society's norms, kindness is a reflection and imitation of God's character. Ephesians 4:3 equates kindness with compassion. 1 Corinthians 6:6 equates kindness with patience. Romans 2:4 equates kindness with grace. And of course, Galatians 5 lists it as one of the fruits of the Spirit, and that's what we're talking about these next weeks. Kindness in the New Testament points us to God's attitude toward us. God takes no pleasure in our pain and wishes only good for us, His creations. God's kindness is shown in that He watches out for us, He protects us from danger, and He helps us to grow. While He doesn't actually specifically use the word kindness, John in his Gospel explains what kindness is in his metaphor of the Good Shepherd from John 10:11-14. Let me read it for you. "I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and he runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. But I am the good shepherd," Jesus says. "I know my sheep, and my sheep know me." Kindness is inherently non-selfish. In fact, if there's a selfish component to an action, it is by definition not kind. This is one of the biggest differences between kindness and niceness. Niceness is all about me. It's about gaining a reputation for myself. It's about avoiding conflict with those around me. But kindness is all about you. It's about your betterment. It's about your peace. Hired hands do the work for the pay that they receive, and when the work is harder than the pay is worth, they turn tail and run. The good shepherd, on the other hand, cares for the sheep so much that he's willing to die for them. This is the ultimate kindness, selfless compassion for others in imitation of Jesus Christ. When I was a youth pastor, I took our youth group to CHIC, which is a triennial youth conference for our denomination, held at the University of Tennessee. As part of our private youth group time together, guided by the leaders of this 5,000-person conference, we as leaders served communion to our youth groups. So I took the bread and I took the cup and I went from person to person and offered it to them and served them all the way around the circle, came back to my place and set the cup and the bread down in front of me. Much to my great surprise, suddenly one of the young men in our group got up and came over, picked up the cup and the bread, and served me communion. With tears in my eyes, I realized that though this wasn't any part of the instructions, though we'd never even hinted at the possibility of it, it was part of his nature. This was kindness. This was compassion. This was grace. And I have never forgotten it. Kindness. A few questions to ponder about that topic for you as we close. Are you a kind person? If you look at yourself, are you the kind of person who does kind things? Are other people telling you that you are kind, or are you just nice? Question 2, do you care for others? And the second part of that, do you care for others so that they will like you? Or do you care for others because that's how Jesus would act? Is it your natural state to be kind and compassionate and gracious and patient? Last question. If it's not, if this just isn't who you are right now, how can you work on being more kind in your day-to-day life with your family, with your friends, maybe even with yourself? That's a piece of kindness we don't think of often, is how to be kind to ourselves. Well, it was good to talk to you. I will talk to you again in a few days, and I really hope that you'll join us this coming Sunday at 9:30. We're moving to our summer schedule, and so 9:30 a.m. at www.libcov.org. Join us for worship together, and may God be with you in the midst of your work on your kindness.